Good morning. We had some massive storms here in southeast Alabama last night. And look at my potatoes this morning. Hopefully they'll stand back up today, but I wouldn't put money on it. See if it washed up any of the onions. We got, according to the local station, we got around 5 or 6 inches of rain in a short period of time. And I figured I'd come out this morning and all my tomatoes would be on the ground, but they're still over there. They'll get planted over the next day or so. Well, it might be after all the chickens are leaving Friday night. I've sold them. I haven't collected the money yet. They'll bring it when they come after the chickens. But we're going to open all this up, take down this fence, and I'm going to use some of these posts that's keeping the chicken fence up for my gardening. And I'm going to weed all this back here and put down weed fabric, and that's where my tomatoes are going. My determinate tomatoes are going in the raised bed. And I did get the raised bed. My son didn't say a word. He actually put it together for me. He didn't fuss about me getting another one. And I told him we'd be moving those bags of potatoes. So hopefully those stand up today. It'll be a lot easier to move them. And I'll be putting that raised bed there. I kind of hate to see the chickens go. But I'm going to have hip surgery. And my son works 10-hour days, and it's not his thing, for one thing. He enjoys the eggs. He just don't enjoy the care of the chickens. Now, he'll help me do anything I need to do with the chickens, but it's just not something he enjoys. He said it was because he was made to garden and not helping the garden and all that stuff as a child. I think it's just pure laziness, and if you want to know the truth. But that's just mama being mama, you know. I want him to have an interest in it. If something were to happen to me, I want him to know how to grow his own food. Because you never know when you're not going to be able to get anything from the store. And the times we living in now, I went to Sam's. I had an appointment in not a nearby town. It's about, I guess, 25 miles from me. Had an appointment there, so while I was there, I went to Sam's and did a shop, and I thought maybe I got $150 in that cart. I should have calculated it on my phone as I was putting it in the cart, because it came well above that when I went to check out. So I'm telling you, if you can grow it, you need to. Even if you have to do what I've done and take up part of your backyard as a garden. My mom and daddy always had a backyard garden. I mean, the yard wasn't as important to them as the garden, for sure, because if you've got 10 children, you need to grow a lot of food. Of course, now my oldest sister and my oldest brother was already married and out of the house when I got old enough to remember and help in the garden and things. But there were still like 9 of us, there to eat. And they didn't grow potatoes by the, 5 pounds of potatoes or something like that. They went and bought 50 pounds of seed potatoes. And when we grew peas, or like pink-eyed purple hulls, it was a whole ½ acre of peas, And butter beans, same. Corn, an acre or 2. Plus we grew field corn. I mean, we didn't have any way of storing it, except for canning. And the best I can recollect, we didn't even have a refrigerator until I was in my teens. My mama, we killed our own hogs. Us and a couple of more families together all got together and had a butcher day, is what they call it. And I remember one of my jobs was cutting up the fat. And they would cook out the fat and pack their cracklings in the fat, which is lard, and salt down the meat, and every piece of meat you ate it was pretty salty. Thank goodness nobody in our family had high blood pressure at the time. Might have developed it later on, I don't know. Well, I just thought I'd show y'all the storm damage, and not too bad, and hopefully the sun will bring these back up today, because it would be much easier to move them if it did. Just gonna move them over there. I'll probably just move them over here where there's a clear space there where they'll get sun, because you can see those in the back over there not getting much sun. I had 2 plants looked like they were dying. Of course, those have been in the ground over there, have been growing all winter. So I went ahead and pulled them up and seen if there was any potatoes under them. I got a good mess of potatoes. And we'll probably have those for supper tonight. Well, that's all I've got. I don't have anything else to show you. It's just a jungle out here. I really want my son to weed eat between these beds, but he can't do it till the onions are gone, because he'll just cut off the ends of the onions as they're hanging over the beds. So we'll just live in the jungle for a little while longer. After they've pulled to cure for storage, and he weeds between all these beds, I'm going to put down some weed barrier. Some of that, I know you've seen probably other homesteaders using it. I don't consider myself a homesteader. I consider myself a gardener. I did all the milk goats and milk cows and raising pigs and all that stuff years and years ago when I was raising my kids. I'm too old and too worn out for all that now. So I just do a little gardening. Hope everybody's had a wonderful day. And I pray for all the people in the path of those storms. They got some really bad ones over in Mississippi. Done a lot of damage, but I haven't heard of any deaths, so that's something to be very thankful for. God bless.